Hello, welcome back to Steve's Retirement Corner. Work on your mental health in retirement. I think your mental health is just as important as your daggone physical health, man. You know, they both benefit each other, and they work together to to improve your quality of life in retirement, I believe. And just like anything else, man, your mind needs to exercise and stay active in order to maintain um, proper function. I was trying to think of a fancy word. And your mental health is not something you give a lot of thought to. I didn't, man, before I retired. But I mean, actually, in all honesty, I mean, you probably ain't had to since the day you started school to the day you retired. Everything about it's been taken care of by your job or school, from your friends, your social connections, your daggone while you were working or while you was at school, you was always learning or solving a problem of some kind. It seemed like every day something come up at work you'd have to figure out. You know what I mean? I don't care what kind of job you did. There was always a wrinkle that showed up that you had to solve. Uh, and from what you did, your time frame and everything revolved around all that stuff for your whole life, just about. But in retirement, it's all up to you. And taking care of your mental health, man, is huge, man. It's all the factors that go into it as far as staying active and stuff like that. It's that has a lot to do with your mobility. It has a lot to do with staying busy, stuff like that. And if you're not paying attention to it, you get bored. And getting bored can lead to depression, and that's bad, man. Depression is something it's a big deal for older people. We tend to get lonely. Our smaller, or I guess our social groups tend to get smaller. People dying, kids moving away. We left work, so none of your work friends are going to follow you in the retirement. Very few. And really, there's no reason why they should. They're still stuck in the working world, and we're in the retirement world. It's two totally different phases of life, and they don't have a whole lot in common. So it's your social group automatically gets smaller when you retire, and you have to work on that stuff. That's why I think that first year of retirement is probably the biggest and most important year of retirement. You're learning all that stuff. You're figuring things out. You're deciding whether you made a good decision or a bad one. For me, it was, anyways, man. But I had a lot of things going in my favor. I'm naturally curious and interested in just about every daggone thing, from whirly gigs to collecting rain in a barrel. So it's by being curious and kind of open-minded to trying things, ain't a whole lot I can actually do. I'm not good at. How's that? I'll tackle just about anything. Because it's a learning session for me. It's something it takes me a while to do things because I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I can usually figure it out. That's why this piddling and tinkering around that I do and fooling around, it's why I enjoy it. It gives me something to do. It keeps me thinking, figuring out problems. And I'm not big on the social aspect of retirement, though, man. I never have been. I've always been kind of a one or two person fella. My 24-hour smile lasts about an hour, and then I'm ready to look for the house. I just am. Always been that way. And same for the curiosity. The lonely part doesn't bother me because the wife's right inside the house, man. The kids just live a couple of miles one way or the other. So it's, and I got good neighbors. They're easy to approach, and they're good people. They really are. put up with me living beside them anyways. They got to be good. So it's but and you know, anytime you see anything on the internet about it, the first thing they tell you, hey man, you got to keep your mind active. You got to try working puzzles, try reading, you know, try taking a class, you know. But that just don't fit everybody. You know, I read a little bit. I like history. I like documentaries. I watch documentaries or biographies when I read. But and puzzles, I ain't never been much for puzzles. Dad was always big on crossword puzzles. They too hard for me. I prefer the word search. But and I do a jigsaw puzzle from time to time. Something to make you think of that spatial relations and figuring stuff out. Because you know, the more you can do for your mind, the better. I'm hoping to hold off that old age creeping in, just like I do for my physical exercise. The whole purpose of it for me, not to get bigger, stronger, and faster, but to push off all the time as long as I can. And cognitive decline, you know, it happens as you get older. You know, the more I can do now to help that along, you know, or to hold that at bay, the better I feel about myself. You know, whether it'll work, I ain't got no idea. But you know, and the little social interaction I get with just my neighbors or going out in public and visiting, seeing people, is enough for me. It's not for a lot of people, and you got to figure that stuff out on you know, when you go to retirement. That's why that first year is so busy and so much work involved in it. You got to figure out what makes you tick after so many years of everything being dictated to you. You know, your partner at work was usually probably one of your closest friends. Well, he's still working. You gone now. You know, and every little step you take, it helps. It really builds upon a nice retirement, great quality of life in retirement. Don't forget that mental part of retirement, man. It's just as important as your physical part. It really is, and your financial part. You know, I don't know, man. Well, that picture I'm going to use for the thumbnail. I was down at the river Wednesday, my day off. Today's my day off too. That's another thing. I think structure is a big part of your mental health in retirement. It gives you some kind of control. You feel like you got control over your life if you structure things. A lot of people don't want no structure or routine in retirement, and I'll argue everybody's got it whether they want it or not. What's the first 5 things you do when you get up in the morning? It's probably the same every morning. That's a routine, whether you want to admit it or not. What's your approach to going to bed? You just fall asleep in a chair, or do you go brush your teeth, you take a shower, you whatever, you know. You got some kind of schedule, some kind of routine that you follow. And it's just like mine. Mine is extremely loose and changeable at any time because I make it. I can do all that. It don't revolve around a job or school or any of that. So, but that picture I'm going to use from the thumbnail was I was down at the river, and I just can't see how anybody could spend a couple hours at a place like that and not come away with a better mindset about things. I don't know, but I think it's important anyways, and I try to take steps every day to work on it. Whether I'm learning how to put a plow handle together, or whether I'm watching a documentary, or just trying to figure out what kind of bird's going to the bird feeder. It's easy for me because I don't know a whole lot, and about everything is intriguing to me. But a lot of people aren't like that. You know, a lot of people get to feeling lost in retirement, and that's part of that mental aspect of retirement. And it's something you really have to work on and you have to learn about. Life is all about learning. It's a lifelong process of learning. And new time is just another stage of life. And you got to keep learning about it and, being open to things, man. That helps. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't do a whole lot, but I'm sure willing to try it. I don't know, man. Looks like summer come back for today and tomorrow. It's been up in the night, about 90 today. But I'm supposed to turn back off cool again. I was getting ready for fall. My sleep has already changed over automatically. About the past 3 weeks, I've been getting up a little bit later. And so my body knows. And that daggone maple back yonder is all empty now. So we got trees all around here starting to lose leaves and turn colors. It's going to be early fall. I think the peak fall, the leaf peeping season is going to come early this year. But hey, man, y'all take care. Try to make the best weekend you can, and it's the first full weekend of football. Pro football anyways. So y'all root for the Packers, man. We need all the help we can get. Y'all take care, and we'll talk to y'all later.